What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. And before I get started on today's content, go ahead and click that subscribe button if you have not done so, and like the video also, because that would help me out a lot. So lately I've been thinking about the Temption Civic and how there's not so much love for the aftermarket support. There's people that still buys the LX Civic, aka me, and kind of want to know where to start or what to do with the car and so on. And I kind of need like a little, I guess, guidance on the options that's available. So what I've done for this video is compile together a guide on modifying your Temption LX Civic, aka FC2 chassis, aka K20C2 engine. And before I start, a little disclaimer: this is just a video guide. I'm not telling you, just showing. Alright, the first thing is power mods. So there's not many options for the power mods. However, with the power mods currently available, it's gonna wake the car up. You're not gonna gap motherfuckers on the street, but it's still gonna put a smile on your face. At the end of the day, it's still a NA 4-banger. Even if it's modified with power, it's not gonna gap motherfuckers, like I said. And with that, the CVT transmission is not the best platform to do this on, but you can still do it. Just note that it's gonna be a little bit laggy. Manual transmission is way better option for this. So the downpipe is your first option. RV6 is the only brand for that, and with that you can get either a catless or a catted downpipe. Either version have the exact same specs, which are 304 stainless, precision cast transition, and 2.5-inch tubing, and they're both TIG welded. For the catless downpipe, you can get about 14 horsepower gain on the wheels with a tune, or about 10 horsepower gain to the wheels without a tune, and that is based off the dyno result from the RV6 run. The pro is that it's a guaranteed power gain since it is catless, free-flowing, more gains. The con is that it is catless, it's gonna be raspier and louder, and you're not gonna pass the EQ anytime soon. With the catted downpipe, again, specs are the exact same as the catless. With its cat, it's a high flow cat, it's a 300 cell high temperature high flow cat. The gains are similar to the catless downpipe. RV6 did not give any dyno numbers with the catted downpipe. It's kind of weird. Anywho, the pro is that it's not raspy and it's not the catless downpipe ear rape kind of loud. It's gonna be noticeable in the decibel increase, and with that you can pass the EQ also because it is a catted downpipe. The con is that although it's a high flow cat, it's not fully catless, meaning there's still restriction, which would, I guess, draw back some power gain. But with the tune, it's gonna do your car wonders. For the intake, the brand AEM is the only one that makes them. You can either get a cold air intake, quote-unquote, system, or a drop-in filter. With the cold air intake system, you get about 7 horsepower gain. It replaced the factory airbox. The pro is that it looks cool and it sounds cool. It makes that whoosh noise whenever you give it some VTEC, and it may be helpful with a tune, and I can attest to that. The con is that the factory airbox is removed, and it's kind of bad because the factory airbox was designed and engineered to work best for the car. And the other con is that although it says a cold air intake system, it's more of like a short ram because it's sitting closer to the engine, which sucks in warm air, which is totally counterproductive to the name of a cold air intake. The other option, if you don't want to remove the factory airbox, is a drop-in filter or the dry flow air filter. I don't think there's gains at all, so with that you just unlatch the factory airbox, take out the current filter, and then replace it with the drop-in filter. The pro is that the filter is a drop-in, which still keeps the airbox, which again was designed to work good with the car, and it still makes the cool sound. Don't worry, you're gonna get that whoosh noise. And with the con, no to little gain, so you have to weigh in your choices here. Next off is the throttle body spacer. I'm kind of iffy about this because I don't have it, so I can't really tell you if it works or not. But either way, the throttle body spacer allows you to get more air into the engine, and the engine don't have to work as hard, which increase the horsepower and torque and the throttle response. Two brand that makes them is the Power Rev Racing. You can buy it from K Series parts. It's about 19mm thick. Blocks Racing is the other brand you can buy on carid.com. 18mm thick. So two choices there, and like I said, I am not sure if it's gonna guarantee any gains in the power. The Pro is, if there are gains, then it's gonna be, I guess, good gains. But again, I don't have it, and the companies that make them, they don't provide a dyno graph, so I don't know until I see the graphs. With the cons, some throttle body spacer works well with some engine and not others, so it may works good or it may not with the K20C2. The second guaranteed power gain is a tuner. So for the 10th gen platform, you can go with a Honda or a K-tuner, but if you have a LX model or the K20C2 engine, then the K-tuner is your only option. So with that, there's only one tune for the K-tuner. That tune includes up to 22 wheel horsepower and 18 foot-pound of torque gain, which is pretty good considering it's a NA 4-banger. It can run 87 or 91 plus octane. The throttle response is improved, and you can choose between level 1, 2 or factory. The VTEC is lowered to 5600 RPM, and the mid to top end power increases. You can adjust the tune's parameter if you know what you're doing. If not, then take it to a tuner. The tune works better with a downpipe and an intake installed, so keep that in mind. The Pro, like I said, 22 wheel horsepower increase, which is phenomenal. It wakes the car up, and you can get more gains with other bolt-ons, especially that downpipe. I can't stress enough how much that downpipe works well. With the con, it's pretty expensive, gonna run about $500 to $600. You can't buy it from the manufacturer directly, but you can go to their website and look up authorized dealer around your area. And the other con is only one tune, so if you want more tune or a customized tune, you need to go to a tuner to do it. And less responsive in the CVT transmission. That is proven by yours truly. Still works, but it's not going to be as jumpy as a manual. So overall consensus with the K-tuner, Alvin says buy it only if you're going to use it with other bolt-ons. If you're just going to use it by itself, then it's not worth it, and it may be harmful to the car more than it is good. So what I'm running for the power mods are the RV6 catted downpipe, the AEM coder intake system, and both of which are tuned with the K-tuner tune and a pop tune as well. So the pop tune just messes with the fueling, which makes my car pop when I'm driving. For the exhaust, you can go with a catback, axleback, or a custom route. With the full catback, there's two brands that you can go with. You can go with the NVIDIA brand, which has its NVIDIA N1 catback exhaust, which is available for the sedan and coupe. It is the N1 style muffler, so that fart can. So if you don't like that, or if you're self-conscious about your fart cans, then don't get it, I guess. There's also increase in mid to top end horsepower. It is a full catback, so from the flex pipe onwards, it's a full replacement. The noise increase, you can notice it. It's not going to be ear rape loud, but people will know that you have an aftermarket exhaust in your car. With the MagnaFlow Street Series catback, it is the second option, but it's only for the coupe, I think. With that, the exhaust has dual exit, a mild increase in the noise. The spec is 2¼ inch pipe. It has 3 mufflers. The design is a straight through with stainless steel material. So that is your catback exhaust. Second option is a axleback or muffler replacement. You just buy an aftermarket universal muffler and have your local exhaust shop put it on. Some brand that comes to mind are Skunk 2, Magnaflow, Flowmaster, HKS, Borla. If you find the one that you like, just buy it and then go for it. Nothing wrong with that. I had a Skunk 2 N1 style muffler, but I took it off because it kept on scraping whenever I back into Baker's house. The third one, the custom route, you can take your car to the exhaust shop and have them do a muffler delete, resonator delete, straight pipe from the cat bag, or a fully custom. But either way, the custom exhaust route is gonna be pretty spendy, but not as spendy as a full cat bag system. You can also replace your piping with the custom route, so you get larger pipes, but just keep in mind that the larger the pipes are, the more power you're gonna lose on the low end, but the trade-off is that deeper sound. And note that whatever option you go with, i.e. catback, axleback, or custom, your exhaust is going to be louder with a downpipe, especially the catless, so keep that in mind. For me, I am running 2.5-inch piping going through a Vibrant resonator, no muffler, with a dual exit tip, all of which is bolted onto the catted downpipe. So that is your power and exhaust mode. Next off is the suspension. And this car, you can run lowering spring, coilovers, or bags. With the lowering spring, it's gonna be the cheaper option. Some brands that come in mind are Tine, Skunk 2, and D2. I think there's some more, but that's just the 3 that's coming out of my head right now. The pro for this is that, again, cheap, under $300 to $200 for the spring. The con is that it's a static drop, so it's gonna vary between brand. Tine, I think it's about 1.25 to 1.5 inch drop. Anywho, can't change the ride height. Your spring rate may suck. It is a progressive spring, and yeah, if you are low on budget, go with lowering spring. Coilover is the middleman, kind of. Some brands are Tine, BC, Godspeed, and Raceland. Raceland is the cheapest you can get, about $400 or $500. The pro with coilovers is that the amount of adjustability with them, and that depends on the brand. I know that Raceland only has a ride height adjustment. Other may vary, but overall you can adjust ride height, dampening, all those good stuff. Spring rate may be better than the lowering spring. You can dial in your fitment and your performance to the T. The con is that it's kind of expensive. Like I said, Raceland is the cheapest. I think BC runs about $1,000, but it's not air suspension expensive. And the other con is that your car needs to be lifted in order to adjust the ride height, so keep that in mind as well. Finally, bags, the notorious 3 brand that I have on top of my head is Airlift, D2, and Trueheart. With bags, the pro is that the dynamic adjustability, so you can dial in the perfect fitment with a push of a button, i.e. it makes cool sound, and it rides pretty good too. The con is that it's really expensive, about $3 to $5 for bags. And if you're gonna install it by yourself, then the con is that it's gonna take days or weeks to do it. And you also have to sacrifice your trunk space for the air compressor and the air tank, which adds weight. But the cool thing is that people with bagged cars, their trunk looks pretty cool. And your bags may also freeze in places with harsher conditions, as in winter condition. And your bags may also pop as well when you're driving. So what I'm running is currently Tine lowering springs, and my Raceland coilovers just came in, and I need to install that or get it installed real soon. So once you have your suspension, handling should be your next priority. Serimoto is one of the brand that comes into mind. They make a phase 2 strut bar, phase 2 self-frame brace, and a self-frame W brace, which helps a lot in how your car handles on the corner. For the sway bar or anti-roll bars, I can only find rear sway bar for the fronts. I know there are some, but you just have to look pretty deep for it. That's what she said. With the sway bar, Serimoto, Eibach, Megan Racing and White Line Suspension makes them. You can buy them on ProCivic.com, I think, or Pro Car Studio. What I'm running for the handling is just a Phase 2 strut bar and a rear sway bar, both from Serimoto. I'm looking to get some more upgrades in the future. So once you have the power, the exhaust, the suspension, and the handling, you're gonna want some fitments. Alright, so if you already have suspension, as in chlorine spring coilovers or bags, then you're on the way to fitment. Next off is the wheels. You want to measure your wheels for fitment, so offset, width, and wheel size should be taken into account for. Back spacing, you could too if you like, but you don't have to. With the tires, you're gonna want to figure out the size that works well with your wheels. And with that, stretch or no stretch. If you're going with the stretch option, then you're gonna be in that show / kind of hot boy look, lip to fender fitment. And overall, if you're confused, go ahead and head on over to fitmentindustries.com. They also got a YouTube channel, same name, Fitment Industry. They are the Bible of fitments. They got all the stuff you need to get that sexy fitment. And I'm actually a part of their street team, which is like a little ambassador kind of the program. And if you end up buying wheels, tires, or suspension, go ahead and mention my name, Alvin Vlogs, or my IG handle, Exclusive FC2. Go and check out. So yeah, Fitment Industries is a good resource to go to if you need help. And once you get your wheels, if your wheels are kind of off by a few millimeters in terms of the fitments, you're gonna want to get spacers. And I can't stress enough how important it is to buy a hub centric spacer, because if you don't, your wheel is just not gonna ride good. So please be very careful when you install them also, because if you don't, then your wheel is gonna fly right out when you're driving. So the mistake that most people make when they kind of install spacer is that they don't bolt the spacer onto the hub. So when you install your spacer, make sure you put the spacer on the rotor's hub first, bolt the spacer onto the hub, and then mount your wheels, and then put in the lug nuts. Make sure you torque it down to 80 foot-pound of torque. That is the factory spec. If you don't torque it down, then your wheel is gonna risk flying off. So after you got the wheels on, if you want more dank fitment, then you're gonna go with a camber kit. And some of the brand that makes them are the SBC Performance front camber kit, as well as the rear camber kits. White Line Suspension makes an adjustable control arm. Megan Racing also make control arms and camber kits, and Trueheart as well. So you got a total of 4 options for your camber, but whatever you do, please do not get maxed out camber. What I'm running for my fitment is tie lowering spring. As you know, my wheel is the Raceline 131B Evo matte black, 17 by 7.5 plus 40 offsets, and also a 25mm spacer. The spacer, I installed it right, it's torqued down right, it's still running right. It's just that with the wheel spacer, it's kind of lowered the life of the wheel bearing. Not good at all. So once you have everything dialed in good, you're gonna want to do aesthetic mods. And this is a very subjective portion. It's all depending on you. Some places you can buy are Pro Car Studio, eBay, Amazon. For the grill, one of the best looking one in my opinion is the Pro Design Honeycomb Mesh Grill. You can also get the Black Battle style grill, which is that beak kind of grill. I'm gonna try to put a picture on the screen, but I do not like that one. It looks ugly. You can also buy the Type R grill as well. You can go with the aftermarket option where they make the Type R style grill, but they don't have the Type R emblem, or go to the dealership and buy the Type R grill, but please take off the Type R emblem if you do go with the dealer option. When it comes to hood, trunk, etc., Cybon is a brand that makes pretty good parts. They're carbon fiber, actual carbon fiber, and they make them for the splitter or front lip, side skirt, rear diffuser, hood, trunk, and fenders. Please do not put the Type R wing onto your base model LX 10th Gen Civic sedan. I don't think the Type R wing looks good on the sedan. It looks good on the Type R, and that should just be it. The difference between a wing and a spoiler is that the spoiler is low profile to the trunk. It follows the car's body line, and there can be a small gap between the trunk and the spoiler. With the wing is bigger than the spoiler, and there is a huge gap between the trunk and the wing. The wing don't follow the car's line, so it sticks out further. Honda also have an accessory catalog that you can look through. There's 2 options for spoilers on that as well. There's also a duckbill spoiler for the 10th Gen Civic, and I think that looks pretty tasteful, or any of the low profile spoiler. With the gear shifter, for the manual transmission, you can buy any shift knob as long as the thread size is 10 by 1.5. For the CVT, you can get a Speed Dog adapter, which replaced the entire CVT knob. So there's no more button pressing to change the park, reverse, neutral, or drive. You just press down and then change the gear. For my aesthetics, what I'm running, the main ones are the Icon Motorsports Shroud style front lip and Icon Motorsports side skirt, custom tuning diffuser garnish, a universal fits rear diffuser with custom tuning fins, carbon fiber quote-unquote mirror caps, and the OEM style spoiler from the Honda accessory, a Speed Dog universal automatic transmission shift knob adapter. Mouthful. And on top of the adapter is a Dragon Ball Z shift knob as well. The headlights housing are different depending on the trim level, and if you don't like the base model headlight housing, then you can swap it out for, let's say, a Touring or an SI housing. For the tail light, I don't care as much, but you can buy some on eBay, Amazon, or Car ID. And when it comes to the light bulbs, the low beam size is H11 and the HB3 is the size of the high beam. In terms of what you can do LED, HID, or RGB. For me, I am running an almost full LED conversion. The only thing that's not LED for the headlight is the turn signal. And for the low beam, I do have an RGB LED light, so I can change colors when I'm parked. That is all for today, and if you liked the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe as well. The guide will be available in the description, so be sure to look through it if you have any questions, and if you still don't get it, comment down below. If I missed anything, put it down below as well. And with that, I will catch you guys on the flip motherfucking side.